We know love by this, that Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for one another. How does God's love abide in anyone who has the world's goods and sees a brother or sister in need and yet refuses help? Little children, let us love, not in word or speech, but in truth and action. And by this we will know that we are from the truth, and will reassure our hearts before God whenever our hearts condemn us. For God is greater than our hearts, and God knows everything. And this is God's commandment, that we should believe in the name of God's Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another, just as God has commanded us. All who obey these commandments abide in God, and God abides in them. And by this we know that God abides in us, by the Spirit that God has given us. The word of the Lord. The Holy Gospel from the 10th chapter of St. John. Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand, who is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away. And the wolf snatches them and scatters them. The hired hand runs away because the hired hand does not care for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and my own know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. I must bring them also, and they will listen to my voice. So there will be one flock, one shepherd. The Gospel of our Lord. Who did I bring today? Yeah, a little sheep, a little lamb. That's right, a little lamb. Let me tell you a story about this lamb, okay? So this lamb is part of a larger flock of sheep. And what do they call the person who takes care of all the sheep? A shepherd, that's right. Farmers sometimes have sheep, but if you specifically take care of the sheep, you're called a shepherd, right? A sheep herder, a shepherd. Well, one day, this sheep was going along with the flock, and lots of times sheep are kind of shy, kind of timid, but this sheep is very smart. And this sheep is very curious. This little lamb really likes to kind of check out things. So this little lamb just kind of started wandering off. The sheep were all going that way. This little lamb kind of went wandering off this way and just kind of checking out things, and saw a mountain. Decided he wanted to try to climb a mountain, so he starts climbing the mountain, and he gets up on this real steep ledge of the mountain, and there's this huge drop off down to one side of the river, and all of a sudden he realizes he's stuck. He's stuck. He can't go forward. He's too scared to go back. If he moves a little bit this way, he might fall off into the river. He's really scared. Well, meanwhile, the shepherd who's taking care of the flock, he notices that the little sheep is missing. He notices that he's not anywhere there. So he says, I've got to go find that little lamb. I've got to find that little lamb. So the shepherd goes off all the way to the north, but he can't find the lamb there. And he heads all the way to the east, and he can't find the lamb there. He heads all the way to the south, up the mountain, and he spots the little lamb on the ledge. And says, uh-oh, that lamb is in trouble. And it's risky for him to climb there because the ledge is small and he's even bigger than the lamb. But he crawls up there and he gets the little lamb and he brings him back to the flock, and he takes the little lamb back to his mother, who said, what are you doing wandering off like that? And then the mother also gives him a nice hug, and he brings him back safe. And the reason I tell you that story is that in the gospel lesson, Jesus is the good shepherd. Jesus is the one who, whenever we get lost, sometimes going through life, we just kind of get lost. And we don't know where we're at, and it's scary, and we don't know what to do. But Jesus is always the one who comes looking for us, to find us, to hug us, to bring us back home again. We are always safe with Jesus in us. So thank you very much for coming and hearing the story about the little lamb. Okay? And now we're going to see a play. We're going to see a play in church. People are going to act out a story about how God also shepherds us. How sometimes in life we get lost. Sometimes we don't know what to do. And God is always with us, is always shepherding us from the inside, but we don't always know how to figure that out. So God also sends us people to help us find the right direction. So this is a story about how we can be shepherds to each other. Okay, you think you can sit down, but get a good place to sit, and so you can see the play that's going to happen right now.